Hi, everyone. Maybe you remember when Justin Trudeau was first elected, or maybe you don't. But maybe you've encountered some memes about how handsome he is, how he pushes his hair off of his face. Regardless, Justin Trudeau isn't Canada's first heartthrob prime minister. That honor actually belongs to his father, Pierre Trudeau. I know what you're saying, but miss, what about Diefenbaker? But seriously, Pierre Trudeau would be chased by women in the streets. So many young people flocked to the Liberal Party in the 1960s because of him. But first, we need to start from the beginning. The beginning? The beginning? Sure, it's kind of relevant. Pierre Trudeau was born to a French-Canadian father and a British-Canadian mother. This might not seem particularly strange, but it colors his experience as he moves forward. Trudeau's father died suddenly when he was 15 years old. And growing up in Quebec, he stood out amongst a largely anti-colonial population, but was going home to a British-Canadian mother. During World War II, Pierre Trudeau refused to enlist, and he actually gave anti-conscription speeches and believed that the war was an imperialist one. After achieving his law degree, he attended Harvard University, where he truly came to understand the scope of the Second World War. He was shooketh. On the door to his room, he posted a sign that said, Pierre Trudeau, citizen of the world. As a result, he decides to ditch his lavish lifestyle and backpack the world at a time when significant political change is happening around the world. It changes his outlook on what it really means to be a Canadian and what multiculturalism means. In 1949, he returned to Montreal, where he was introduced to Jean Marchand and Gerard Pelletier. Fast forward to the 1960s in Ottawa, Prime Minister Lester Pearson is recognizing that there is a growth of Quebec nationalism happening, and the only way to stop separatism is to give Quebec a seat at the table. Like a literal table? No, I mean recruiting more members to the Liberal Party who are French-Canadian Quebecers. Individuals who would provide a unique perspective and potentially draw votes in Quebec for the Liberal Party. So he recruits Trudeau, right? Not exactly. Pearson recruits Jean Marchand. Marchand doesn't want to go it alone, so he recruits his two friends, Pierre Trudeau and Gerard Pelletier. Together, the three men make up what is known as the Three Wise Men, or in Quebec, les Trois Colons. From there, Trudeau really becomes the star of the Liberal Party, and he's appointed as the Minister of Justice. As Minister of Justice, he pushes through changes to the criminal code, which are transformative. Transformative how? Well, his omnibus bill decriminalizes homosexuality, relaxes legislation regarding abortions, eases restrictions on gambling, restricted firearm possession, and established drunk driving laws. It was revolutionary for the time. I mean, it was 1968, so you can imagine the kind of pushback that came from the opposition and from Canadians. As Trudeau said himself, you can't please all of the people all of the time. Here's a clip from Pierre Trudeau's press scrum where he defends his changes.
Most extensive revision of the criminal code since the new criminal code in early 1950s. And in terms of the subject matter it deals with, I feel that it has knocked down a lot of totems and overridden a lot of taboos, and I feel that in that sense it is new, but it's bringing the laws of the land up to contemporary society, I think. Take this thing on homosexuality. I think the view we take here is that there's no place for the state in the bedrooms of the nation, and I think that what's done in private between adults doesn't concern the criminal code. When it becomes public, this is a different matter. The way we dealt with the breathalyzer is it's in a sense a little more liberal than other laws. We're only going to make the breathalyzer test permissible when the police officers have reasonable and probable cause to believe that there is impairment. In other words, it won't be permissible to just set up a roadblock and test everyone, or set up a breathalyzer machine, outdoor of a cocktail party and just take everyone who happens to come out.
Now, in 1968, Lester Pearson was largely unfavored by the Liberal Party and decided that he was going to retire. As the story goes, Pearson had said out loud that it was imperative that future prime ministers be bilingual. This seemed to catch the bilingual Trudeau's attention, and he decides to run for leader of the Liberal Party. Let me tell you, people were excited by this. But why? He was young. At 49? What you need to remember is that prime ministers before him were comparatively older. Pearson left office at 71, Diefenbaker was 68, Louis St. Laurent was 75, Mackenzie King was 74. Trudeau was young. Also at the time, he was single. Uh-oh. You thought the response to Justin Trudeau's hair flip was insane? Try Trudeaumania. And yes, that's actually what it was called at the time. Young people were enamored of him. They loved his revolutionary philosophy. To young Canadians, he would transform Canadian society. He was young, he was hip, he was fashionable, don't say it. It's true though, people were attracted to him. Plus, the night before the general election, Pierre Trudeau attended the Saint Jean-Baptiste Day parade in Montreal. A riot broke out and people started to throw bottles at the grandstands where he sat. Did he leave? Nope. In fact, against the advice of his security team, he stayed, refusing to be intimidated. And did he win the election? What do you think? Cue the clip.
Pierre E. Trudeau, 1203. It is an extremely great honor that I have received from this great assembly of Liberals, an honor and a very heavy responsibility. And the only way in which I can show my appreciation for this honor will be to bear this responsibility with all my strength and with all my energy. Canada must be unified. Canada must be one. Canada must be progressive. And Canada must be a just society.
He says that Canada is going to be a just society. Now, I want you to think to yourself, what does the word just mean to you? What is a just society? Is it equality? Equity? What does a just society even look like? What do you expect from a just society? This is the vision that Trudeau had for the future of Canada. But was it realized?